I slept homeless underneath the bridges of River Thames. You go into a place where you see a whole different reality and you are invisible. I worked 4 jobs, 10 years, I never had a day off. The moment you come up with an excuse, you are nowhere near to the awareness, awakening, or alertness. If you apply simply that, I guarantee you success. Just that change. Instead of saying to yourself, I don't have the money, say,
Namaste, hero.
Namaste back.
How are you? You're the hero of the podcast. How do you feel today?
I feel amazing. I'm very grateful to be here and to be supporting many wonderful people in accelerating their growth.
Lovely.
And then here with you, sharing some insights for people.
Oh, lovely. Super happy. I'm so happy that you're here, and because you have changed incredibly the humans, the mindset, aligning with their purpose, and not just people itself, but the whole organizations as well. So I'm super grateful to have you here and super excited to talk about so many problems, like life problems that so many people here have, and then we can put a perspective and help them guide with your perspective, because you just came in your life where you had so many problems. You were in London, you were homeless, but you took that strength and you made it into something very impactful. You even wrote a book, the best-selling book on Amazon. Oh my God, I'm super proud of you. Now let's go on to the topic in itself, right? First of all, do you want to share something with us about your journey that is very interesting to you today, that when you look back at it?
So I believe that my journey is everybody's journey. We just have different experiences in that journey of life, and each experience has a lesson, or it can really bring you to dark places. And since I was a very young kid, I experienced a lot of adversity. Although I had a wonderful family, hardworking family, but there were many other elements in the environment that crushed me. So from physical illness to bullying to abuse to living in a country where, as an Albanian, you had no rights at all. There's no human dignity behind the way they were treating us as individuals. But deep down in my soul, I knew it wasn't just. And also my parents were very hard-working people. They were farmers, but also we had restaurants, so they're restaurateurs. So I had the perfect combination of, having a family, values of hard work, and I started working from age 7. I started making money in the farm. So for me, the working habits, the ethics, the value of serving people was instilled in me from a very young age. And I remember my parents always saying that, wealth comes to those who serve greater amount of people.
Wow.
And you don't really put that 2 and 2 together when you're young, because if you have a lot of struggle, as I did, whether being the abuse, whether it's the illness that left me hospitalized for a couple of years with no life, whether it was the struggles going into a school in a different language and also being bullied because you're of a different nationality and you're not the same nation as the primary nation, or then, the adversity of the Civil War, when, my life was pretty much taken away from me, my identity, my life, my family, and then you end up homeless after experiencing so much loss during the war as a young person, being conscripted into a war that you don't like. You're against all of that. So through all of those things, one thing that I always had with me is that voice that my parents gave me. Like when it comes to education, when it comes to serving people, when it comes to transforming your pain into a purpose. And something that can help other people overcome the challenges we in every single day overcome. And what I notice is that most people don't do that. And they end up repeating the same story in their head, and then it becomes their reality without no way out. And I built this curiosity around understanding science and many different disciplines as well as spirituality, which helped me quite a lot to overcome those adversities. But I never thought that one day they'll become lessons and insights for millions of people around the world now who know about my work, who've read my books, which opened a whole new opportunity for me to help as many people as I can.
Wow, super interesting. Well, so inspiring. I'm able to understand that the people who are watching are already inspired, and also they have a question in their mind. That is like, of course, when you're going through that phase of adversity, right? Everything that is taking you down, but you had the parents' voice in your head. Mm-hmm. And let's say for the people who are watching and they have this adversity right now in their life, mm-hmm. but they don't have a parent's voice. What is the other thing that they can grab and they can catch on it and go big?
Well, we have many voices, not just the parents. I always listen to my soul, in a sense that the voice of your soul. But in reality, in our head, we have the voices of every experience we've ever encountered, and every individual, whether it's school, parenting, friends, family. And it's being able to distinguish which voice helps you grow and which one takes you down. And the mind is like a maze, and that's why I dedicated 3 decades of researching, studying, and different disciplines, as well as graduating from a top engineering universities, University College London, which recently was named number 3 in Europe.
Wow.
The importance of re-engineering the mind. So, because if we take the mind and everything in the mind, both conscious and subconscious, and we are able to clarify those voices and clarify whether those are truly the voices of our soul, our heart, the voice that can elevate us to a whole new level, or the voices of so many people that oppressed, suppressed, and made us become invisible of the born power that we have within. A power that needs a lot of nurturing, needs a lot of channeling, needs some wonderful people out there who can help you, because sometimes people get stuck, especially people in the personal and spiritual development, when they say, okay, I know it all, it's inside of me.
Ego.
And then I say, well, the earth has the older element, but it took a man to build buildings like this, to create structures, to create everything we enjoy every single life. So therefore, that's why we have many different professions, including my profession and other people out there who are in the profession of serving and solving problems for people. So for me, it's very important to acknowledge that. Mm-hmm. And when you acknowledge that, then do you have the action behind that?
Yeah. So amazing. Let's retouch on the awareness. I understood you talking about the awareness, right? How can someone differentiate that? Is it the real voice or the made-up voice?
Okay. So the real voice, which is your intuitive one, will come from the voids we experience inside of ourselves. So most people, for instance, deep down, they know they want a better life. Deep down, if you are going through experiences that you feel ill, you know you're seeking health. If you feel you don't have the education required for you to grow professionally or serve certain level of people, you want that education. If the home where you are, it's toxic, because not every parent is a fit parent. So we can't really put the parent voice in there. It needs to be very careful when we select those voices. A lot of people escape that environment. So, if the voice inside of you says, okay, well, this environment is not really fit for me, then you need to select the voice that creates the environment which you as a human being feels most empowered. Now, also I want to distinguish that I'm not teaching people to avoid challenge. And I'm not teaching people to become polarized, because I believe it's in the middle of the support and challenge that we can grow healthy. So we need both people who challenge us and people who, praise us and bring us, opens doors. And, here we are on the podcast, sharing knowledge, sharing insights. So it's extremely important to have that awareness where you truly ask yourself, in this moment, what am I missing? What are those deep voids that keep me up at night? Whether it's your profession, whether it's your personal life, whether it's your identity, because most people are stuck with old personas. And this is what I talk about in the Unfakeable Code. I'm talking about the different personas that we built and the being able to distinguish your authentic identity from those personas and the scarcity persona and all of those things. So when we start going through those, and the methodologies that I built is people taking them step by step, by the way.
Wow.
So you know your authentic identity is guiding you.
Lovely. And you also believe that all humans, our authentic identity is to be successful, is to cherish happiness, be amongst family. Do you think all of us have the same, or?
No, it's, our identity is forged throughout life. It's not something that is fixed. Life itself teaches us that the only constant is change.
So true. I believe this.
So, but then when it comes to humans, the values that we have, which keep evolving, beliefs that we have, which keep evolving,
Yeah.
and those voids that we experience inside keeps evolving, they will consistently shape your identity.
Okay.
So this is where, people who want to go into their journey really seek masterful teachers. That's why I travel around the world working with incredible individuals, because inside they know they've reached the limit. They reached the ceiling and they cannot see a way out of breaking that ceiling. Whether it's financial ceilings, whether it's problems in their family. In today's world, there's many problems in the families, whether it's problems in health issues.
With the girlfriends.
All of that, because as somebody who specialized in human behavior, emotional intelligence, I believe the psychology and physiology are extremely linked, so we have a lot of science behind that,
Yeah.
a lot of wonderful work that over the many years we as human beings have developed. Some of us become expert in that, which can truly transform the human within.
Lovely.
And with that transformation, your health transforms. So each individual is authentic as our fingerprint, as our iris. So this is where most people go wrong, where they try to mimic somebody else. A lot of people want my lifestyle. But have they gone through 30 years of journey? Have they invested millions in working with some of the top experts? No, they haven't. Majority of them haven't. Have they spent 30,000 hours of transforming people? Not really. Have they been in the army? Very few. So, I ask those questions and then people realize, okay, I'm not an expert like you, but I'm somewhere on the journey.
So true.
So it's the best to acknowledge where you are in the journey and then seek the experts who can take you to the next level and learn how to share your knowledge and monetize your knowledge at people who are aspiring to be at the level you are.
So nice. This is gold. What you
Yes.
have given is really gold. And with this, I think the next step after the awareness would be the action. Is that correct? Because now the awareness is there.
Not really. So we're going to play a game in here.
Lovely.
So when I wrote this book, A Path to Wisdom, I worked in the corporate world and I managed up to £10 billion technology transformation programs. And with that, you also manage people, you manage many politics, whether it's in the government or the private sector. You manage people, you develop people, teams, but also very laser-focused problem solutions and identifying. So awareness is just the first step, by the way. So when I wrote this, I spent about 12 weeks in meditation to see how can I combine 20 years of growth and knowledge and consistent investment in my personal and spiritual development with my business, my leadership skills, my tech skills, engineering skills. So that brought me to the methodology that I created, which is re-engineering of your entire life.
Wow.
And the acronym is TGS Evolutionary Method, ALARM.
Okay.
An alarm, it's basically
Wake up.
to me, wake up. We usually do that when we hear, if the alarm went off in here, we'll suddenly have to get out.
Yeah.
But we have been conditioned in a way to ignore that on many levels.
Snooze.
We keep pressing snooze, we keep doing that, and we keep thinking, put the problem underneath the carpet, snooze, go back to sleep. Literally go back to sleep. And we remain in that cycle for a very long time. And some individuals, when the pain becomes big, that's where they have to wake up. And usually it's related to physical health.
So true.
So when somebody hires me to help them with, cancer issues, depression, anxiety, addiction, alcohol, gambling, those are huge alarms that were developed over a period of time.
Exactly.
That they'd never listened to. So, the problems I solve for different people go back to the methodology I set up back in 2014 when I published my book. So it's now 12 years. And ever since, I've been teaching that methodology. Wow. So in there, we're talking about awareness.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to share with you that awareness is the first step. Action is not.
Okay.
But I want you to go through it, and you can ask me any questions so more people in here can actually benefit through that. Because as an engineer, I tend to look at the code behind, and in this case, it's our mind's code.
Oh, wow.
And how do we re-engineer our mind to create the reality we want exactly how we want it?
Exactly.
And this is where alarm can help many people to really go on that journey.
Okay.
So, you can start from the red one and you go around that.
Okay.
So the first one is awareness.
Awareness, okay.
So, when it comes to this, in my methodology, we have embedded in every process, by the way, many of the universal laws as well as scientific laws.
Oh, wow.
For instance, if we go back into the Big Bang Theory and looking at how from one thing everything exploded, we took about the law of one to many and many to one.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of science behind to be able to diffuse the experiences that we judge in others and we disown in ourselves. And that's one of the biggest work I do with many of my clients. But also understanding the subconscious patterns that keep repeating for them. So the awareness is first step, but awareness without the next step,
awakening
is not going to do anything.
Alertness.
You could be aware about something, but you're not awakened to it. So you have to really experience that awakening to literally link awareness with an awakening within you.
Oh, wow.
And then you'll be able to listen to the alerts.
Okay, then the alertness.
Alertness kick in. And so when we start listening to the alerts, by the way, then we start the process of really understanding how our internal mechanisms work. So for instance, if we take from a physiology point of view, any illness, any symptom is an alert.
Yeah.
So majority of the people have been programmed in a way to go to the doctor.
Yeah.
Or take a pill without even seeking medical help and shortcuts. So this is the alerts that if the awakening is there, with the awareness starting, you're actually on a path to really truly understand what's going on inside of you. And the next one is?
Is attention.
Okay. What's the point of the alert if you're not paying attention to it?
Yeah. I think I say is what you don't experience life. You experience life where your attention goes.
Yes. So the attention also brings where the focus goes. So if we're going to pay attention to it, we then cover it up. We go back to snooze. We go back, put it under the carpet, or we'll ignore it, or say tomorrow, or the wonderful thing is going back to my parents, because I had so much work duties as a child. Even my homework from school, I would stay up till late, finish it, so when I wake up in the morning before I go and attend to the animals in the farm, everything is done.
Wow.
So I never learned when I hear a lot of people excuses, no matter for what it is, by the way. The moment you come up with an excuse, you are nowhere near to the awareness, awakening, or alertness.
So guys, stop making excuses.
Yes, if you are in making any form of excuse, it doesn't matter where it is, it's time to wake up.
Wow, that's such a good one that you told,
Yes.
because I see everyone has been making excuses. That's
Yes.
the basic common problem I've seen.
Yes, we live nowadays in a very dynamic world, something that our parents didn't, by the way. So, I have tremendous empathy both for the older generation, my generation, and the newer generation. So my generation is the bridge. Why? Because the newer generation never seen a world without the internet. So for us, we almost like beacon holders for both, to be able to create those bridges that we can create true transformation and not repeat the patterns of our parents that not necessarily were good for us, but also the young generation to be able to awaken to a whole new level of awareness, how to live in a world where now AI and humanoids will dominate everybody's life, by the way. So who are you becoming, and what distinguishes you as a leader, as a business owner, as a partner, as a family, in a world where the only thing that will matter is your humanity, your vision, your intelligence that separates you, your experience, and something that you are so good that people want to work with you. And this is the moment to wake up for that.
Oh, lovely. Lovely. So then after attention comes acknowledgement.
Okay. So when we actually pay attention to something, internally we acknowledge it. But by the way, I'm speaking firstly internally, but this also applies to external reality. So sometimes the work that I do with many of people, there's no match between what's internal, what's external. And usually the external reality gives me everything I need to know about the individual.
So true.
So it's a great mirror to pause and see what's in my reality that no matter what I do, is still the same.
Yeah.
So this could be in business, this could be in clients, this could be in the way you approach individuals, the way you pitch your business, the way you show yourself to the world, but also could be in relationships. Most people that come to me for relationship coaching, whether they're individuals who are single, they can't find the right partner, or people going through separation, divorce, or conflict, it does not really matter. It's the patterns that keep repeating. The person changes, but the problems they experience with a partner are the same. So this is where they come, where we do deep level work, where we start transforming those patterns so they can attract a fulfilling relationship.
Because inside is something else and outside is something else.
So there's a mismatch. And also, when most people, that when I ask, number one value will be wealth. Although most people don't admit it. They say purpose is this, is that. But there's also some statistics now out there that, wherever you are in the world, people want to have better financial wealth and security for themselves, for their families, for their children. And we live in a material world. So, for me, true masters know how to blend material wisdom with spiritual wisdom. And that's what I spend years, and that's why now a lot of people around the world hire my services. So
lovely. That's super interesting. So very quickly, I think this is very interesting point you told. For me, in my life, what has happened is I've been very spiritual. So I used to do meditations. I've been doing like 11 days of meditation, no phones, nothing as well. Vipassana, that is what I think you also have
Vipassana,
done. So I've seen, and to me, my mindset was that money is not good, and for spiritual people it's not good to make money. This was the mindset 1 month before. And then I had a call with one of my senior coach, and then this unblocked, and in a way that he told me, now you should say that you love money, that you are passionate and you want to get more money in your life. So now everything has changed, the perspective, but this was a money block that I had, and now...
Yes, it's, as I said to you earlier on in our conversation, it's our identity evolves around our authentic values. And when those shift and change, our identity changes. So, there's a chapter in there when I specifically give people an example of what it means to have a fixed mindset and what it means to have an evolved and evolving mindset.
Oh, wow.
So with an evolving mindset, you don't need to be told. you know. So even in your conversation, I can pick about 1,000 things that you could benefit in transforming.
Oh, for sure.
So, for instance, when you use words as should, that's not your true value. You're another voice speaking through you. So when I train clients, I train the language that becomes yours, not somebody else's.
Lovely.
So there's a very different evolved language when you do, because the should is somebody's value injected into you.
Okay, makes sense. Totally.
Okay?
Totally.
It does not mean it's your authentic value.
Exactly.
So there are other things in there that are working in the psychology, so people can align themselves without somebody else tell them what their life should be or not be. So I don't use those words unless I'm teaching.
Oh wow, that's so nice.
So, and I don't trust anybody who would speak to me in that language.
Oh yes, of course. Yeah, like I know you.
So, you know.
And also, do you also think that this line that has really stuck with me? It's called "Realization doesn't need repetition."
Not really.
Okay, I would love to know more, because I thought I think it's really good, but like once you realize, it's like, okay, now you don't need repetition, now you gotta go for it.
Okay, so what do you assume by saying that? What's the assumption behind it?
Assumption is basically I realize now that I'm capable, I'm enough, which before I was thinking I'm not enough, but I got that realization through conversation, through talking to you. For instance, in this talking, I got, oh my God, okay, now you made me realize, you made me understand and think this. So now it doesn't need repetition next time through someone else to repeat this.
Okay, so there's many levels to every language we speak, including the word itself, realize. So everything about us is evolving. So when we use a language, I realize it, it means you've done it. So there's the aspect of blocking yourself of not going forward. Because realizing it's an evolving thing. It's not something we've done it and it's done. So in every moment in time, there'll be a new realization. So you have 50% truth.
So it needs repetition.
Yes.
Is it also the way I think in that a situation?
Yes, I mean, depend what the situation is, depend all of that.
Because your situation is correct as well, you know.
But what I would suggest to our listeners, to yourself, is to remain more in the language of being present and understanding that you are consistently evolving and changing. So if we take realization as something that is done, you're not going to go forward. It's a stop. So realization without the steps following, by the way, you know, many people say to me, I realize, you know, I need to work on my money. But then when I ask a lot of questions, there's no work behind it. There's no, you know, no plan, no strategy, no value towards it. So if I sit down sometimes before I do any consulting or training, if somebody comes to me saying, I want to grow to 1 million, 10 million, 100 million, a billion, I start asking thousands of questions to really get an awareness, going back to the first step, not a clear picture, because even if I use clear picture, it's not really clear, because that person has multifaceted life. I can only get a sample of that.
Yes, of course.
So by asking hundreds and thousands of questions, I can get as much as I can to start creating a picture. It's almost like creating a painting of what this person is right now, and the kind of painting they're asking of me to create for them.
So true.
And if you don't have that in order, and if they don't have clarity, and most people have no clarity around their wealth, by the way. So, you know, sometimes people come to me who are very well off, but they pretend to be poor. And their language is poor. And sometimes people come to me at a reasonable level, but their ambition does not match their behavior, their beliefs, their thinking, their value, their actions, their habits, their awareness, the acknowledgement behind that. it's just a fantasy world.
Wow.
So this is very grounding, where we literally restructure your entire identity to fit in the kind of life, the kind of business, the kind of leadership, the kind of family, the kind of being and leader you want to be for the world. First and foremost for yourself, but everybody around you who wants to benefit from whatever service you have for humanity.
Wow, lovely. I understood. So you take the maximum input so you can give the best output.
Absolutely, yes. So as an engineer, even in life, by the way, so, if you put, for instance, diesel in a petrol engine, you'll know, if you're a driver, you'll know what happens, As a kid, I made that mistake, and I made it once. And this is, when you say realize, it's about that action. Meaning, now, I don't need to realize again for me to go and try petrol in a diesel car.
Yeah, it doesn't need repetition.
It doesn't need repetition, okay?
Yeah,
but there's a repetition in there because that you build the awareness that when you open the latch where the petrol you need to fill in, you always check if it's diesel or petrol. So there is elements to that. It's just a heightened awareness, and once you make a mistake like that, and you suffer the pain that comes behind that, whether parents telling you off as a teenager, or whether, police stops you, or whatever it might be, or, they have to take the car into a car engineer, it costs a lot of money to clean it, whatever. You learn from those pains.
Wow.
So this is where you have a great realization that there's repetition, saying, let me check, just double check, and that becomes habitual.
Yes.
So for me, it's habitual. No matter where I'm driving around the world, I check.
Oh, yes.
Even if they tell me, I always check. I always check. So, you build certain level of knowledge and awareness that you go like, I really realize if I put petrol in a diesel car and vice versa, I'm in trouble.
Yes. So after talking to you, I'm able to understand that I don't need to speak anything. No, I'm just kidding. That means I really need to mind on the language. I really need to put emphasis on anything and everything that I'm speaking, which is very important because that will shape my reality according to what I'm understanding.
Well, let's flip that over. Is it according, or there is a knowing inside of you that the way you think and the way you speak matters?
It matters.
Okay. Yeah. So now when you say that, now you're owning that.
Yes.
When you say according to you, it's you, but it doesn't speak to me. So there's no transformation in that.
No.
So therefore, I don't fall in the trap when people speak to me like that. So I bring them into awareness for them to own the wisdom.
Okay.
That's where true transformation happens.
So because of the wisdom you have given me.
Yeah, so when I ask you a question, you said, yes, it rings true to me. That's where you own it.
Okay.
When you say according to you, there's no ownership inside of you.
Yes.
And you're just like a nice thing to have over there, but it doesn't apply to me. There's no learning in there.
Makes sense, totally. Which is interesting. And so, right now in my life and other people's life who are in a state where they are making money, let's say they are in another country like Dubai, and they started their business, and now I have my business and I have my clients. So it's like a very basic level that I've started. I have 3 clients, but I'm able to be like a freelancer. I don't have a particular job. And so people like this, there are a lot of them here in Dubai. And so how they can really make that, let's say $10,000 into $100,000 in the next 6 months?
Okay. Well, 6 months is a long period.
It should be 1 million.
Well, I mean, I didn't use the word should.
It could be. Is that correct?
Yeah, it could be. That's a better word because you're not injecting that into other people.
Lovely.
Because everybody is an individual. And they have their own desires and their journeys and circumstances, all of that. But for me, 6 months is a long time. It depends where you are, by the way, and depends your individual circumstances. Now, if you, let's say you're currently in Dubai or wherever you are that you are watching us from, and you have the desire to go to 100,000 in 6 months, okay? So the gap is 90,000. Now, if you analyze every part of your business that brought you to £10,000, I'm a mathematician, so I don't do anything without maths or engineering. So you need to ask yourself the question, what can I do 9 times more in every part of your business? And put a clear action plan, a clear strategy, and clear value, commitment in time, energy, and money for you to achieve that. So if at £10,000 I'm serving 3 clients, if I multiply that by 9, it will be 27 clients in 6 months period. If your business is structured like that. Like my business, I don't work on volume, I work on quality. Because I'm an expert at my field that works at 6, 7, 8 figure clients and contracts. So to build that has taken me 15 years. So again, going back into managing your expectations and where you are and being able to write down. I always use the word write down because that's the first thing into manifesting into reality. Where with your hand, you start writing down. So I built this at 10,000. Now write everything down how you did that. And then attach 9 times of every single thing you did for you to reach that.
Wow, it's very straight up technique.
Straight up technique.
Technique, yeah.
So no matter where you are, because you will know what took you to £10,000.
Exactly.
And if you need help, then reach out to experts like myself, other people, whoever who can help you to really bridge the gap. Lovely. So for me, I always recommend to people, get the people who can get you there faster.
Lovely.
And invest in that, because if you truly value your business, you will invest in the best experts.
So true.
So, you know, it's because I've done that for now 30 years. I've never stopped investing in myself.
Wow.
And that's the best investment I've ever done. Not the banks, not the properties, none of that. My education.
Wow. That is so nice. You've just given this gold, right? Like people who are now enjoying their lives, making the best. Okay, that's great. But if you don't invest in yourself, I think it's a tricky part.
It's just the money going down the drain.
Yes.
But this money that you invest in yourself and working with some of the best people, builds your entire psychology, builds your business skills, your negotiation skills, your pitching skills, and everything you need to really accelerate your growth. That's where the latest book, Climb Greater Heights. Because in reality, you are designed to climb greater heights. And sometimes, you know, when I work with entrepreneurs and business owners, because I take them to beautiful locations around the world, just to take them away from their environment.
Oh, wow, lovely.
And it's a very exclusive, as you can see in here, it's a very exclusive process, and it's an intense. You know, most clients will say this is a PhD in 5 days.
Wow.
And then they have follow-up weekly or bi-weekly or monthly session, depend the level of engagement they want. And then some of them go and do 3, 5, a year of those 5 days training. And they accelerate very fast in their business, in their thinking, in everything, in spotting opportunities. I provide also sometimes with clients who are business owners, like the medical conferences or other conferences, where most people invest, but they get very little outcome out of that. Because why? Because people being on those stands haven't been trained properly.
So true. Neither
the business owners who come in there try to build a business, but their speaking is not there, their listening skills are not there, their pitching is not there. So all those elements that helps you build, you don't have them. And if you're not going to invest to work with somebody who can help you build those, you don't really value business or wealth.
Simple as that.
As simple as that.
Lovely. That brings on to the question of purpose, right? Like right now, to me in my personal life, and also to the people who are watching, it's basically like I have so many things I want to do. Like I've been into spirituality, I meditate a lot, I've met amazing people, have traveled a lot, did amazing things. Now I'm always trying to find what's my purpose, and so I'm confused and shocked sometimes, which I would like to know, like what I want to serve. I feel like serving, but of course I know it should come out in a way that I've served myself fully, and then then only I'll be able to serve others. It's as simple as that, what I feel.
Okay, I mean, when I started personal development, going back in the Tony Robbins seminars back in the 90s, and I've read over 30,000 books. You get caught up in this circle of what's my purpose? And I've met people over the years, they still haven't found the purpose. And during those days, especially the times when I started being an author and really bridging the different levels of awareness and philosophies and experience and education and ongoing training, and going deep into understanding philosophers from Greek, Roman Empire. If we look at the Egyptians, if we look at Taoism, we look at Mexico, we look at China, we look at all the different religions, by the way, because I've also done comparative religious studies. And when you go to the depth of what we as human beings not motivate, because I don't use that word motivate, I use the word inspire, that comes from within us. It's going back to what I shared earlier on, that our purpose is consistently evolving. So I was the first one to write down in Path to Wisdom and coin the term evolving purpose. Because this idea of a fixed purpose, after doing all of those things, after putting all of those things, I realized nobody has it. But what they do, you have a momentary purpose. And then from those voids that you experience inside, there's a whole chapter in Climb Greater Heights, specifically designed to help you really understand that, both on a personal level and a professional or business level. Because if you don't have that, you're not going to have a clear vision of where you're heading. So, when you bring and understand the deeper parts of yourself, of those voids, then you'll start clarifying what your true value is. When you clarify your true value, then you'll find an overarching purpose that links with your vision, which is driven by your voids and by your values.
Lovely.
So it's a whole formula behind that, by the way. Mm-hmm. So if I were to ask you in this moment, what's your purpose, what would be your answer?
My purpose right now would be aim of getting the financial freedom.
Okay.
And going big on socials.
And would you like to get a feedback that I normally would tell my clients?
No.
That they have money?
That's why I'm here. Enlighten me, please.
So if you're my client, I'll grab you by your ear and I'll show you the door.
I know, I feel you.
So the reason I would show you the door, because you're not being present.
I'm not being?
Present.
Mm-hmm.
So a person who's present, the purpose would be present in that moment. Tony, my purpose is right now to create an incredible podcast with you so other people can benefit.
Oh, lovely.
Uh-huh.
Well, that's an interesting way to look at it.
Can you see the way it differs? One is somewhere far in the future. Mm-hmm. One is you have the biggest asset in front of you and your mind is somewhere else.
Oh, lovely. I never thought about this.
Many people don't. So
the key is to be present in the moment.
That relates then to how this experience served me the bigger purpose.
Yeah, this experience will curate.
So when you connect those dots and when you become present, that your purpose in that moment is this. In the next moment where you're with another client is to help them with their branding, with their social media, whatever it might be. In the next moment you have a meeting with somebody. So, and those little purposes start contributing to a bigger vision. But most people don't have none of that in place, by the way. None of that.
Wow, that's so interesting.
So the mind is very scattered.
Yeah, it's a monkey for
there's
sure.
no order. So Climb Greater Heights that I've been delivering now for 14 years is to literally restructuring the entire mind. It becomes in order. So when your internal mindset is in order, your external reality becomes in order. Perfect. So.
But then I want to understand, this is a very interesting viewpoint that you have given me. But whenever someone asks someone, I've seen it's always about the future that they answer.
And they never get there. So
Might
somebody who's studied spirituality, I find it difficult to understand why you're not being present. So what did spirituality teach you then, if not being present?
That's the only thing that it teaches you.
Okay. So now you are in discrepancy with yourself. So you have a dissonance within your psychology and cognitive thing with your actions. But when somebody like me brings it into your awareness, you suddenly stop saying, fuck, excuse my language. And you go like, wow, then you really come to a next level realization. Now, going back to your words about realizing. So that realize comes to a whole new level.
Is it not, we associate the word purpose with future, of course, and I think that is the trick. So now, is it like anything that we talk, it should be always about the present?
Well, not really, no.
Wow.
So there's a difference to have a clear vision, which is something you want to accomplish in the future,
yes.
and being able to bring all of that in the present moment. Because your future is not built in the future. It's built right here, right now.
So true. Wow, lovely. Thank you, so awesome.
You're welcome.
Wow, I love it.
So hopefully,
Hello,
our
if
audience...
you're watching this, you should know this. What's happening here?
Yes.
This is gold.
Yes.
Yes.
So, it's my parents always used to say, they used to call me Diamond, and, my clients call me that, and, some of my Hollywood clients, they call me the Dior of personal development, which is precision. Precision, and in everything I put quality, I put precision, I put something that becomes very beautiful. And as I awaken those states in people, they become excellent in whatever they do.
Wow, lovely, lovely. And what do you think about enlightenment?
First of all, there's no such thing. There's no such thing. There's different levels of awareness that we as human beings can embody. But as such a thing as fully enlightened, not really. I've never met anybody. If you have, send them my way and I'll ask them a few questions and see how enlightened they are.
Wow.
So I believe we're all on a journey, and I believe that it's consistently evolving. But I definitely don't believe there is one person who's fully enlightened.
Oh, not possible.
That doesn't exist, frankly. So maybe AI will help us do that. When we have some kind of integration with our brain and unlock parts of our brain that most of us don't use. But I believe we are on a journey to truly explore who we are. And that's an infinite cycle. And if you see in the path to excellence, the cycle is infinite.
Wow.
So
I wanted to ask you this amazing question that everyone has a life purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, I understood my life purpose is unconditionality.
Mm-hmm.
How can I be able to 100% achieve this?
Okay, again, whoever taught you that, they live in a fantasy world. So an expert like me would not really play that game. So I'll bring you back into reality.
Okay.
So if what you say is true, we wouldn't have duality.
Okay.
Now you give me some, understanding. The way I've just given you the answer, so more people can really benefit from that, because a lot of people beat themselves up in order to achieve certain things which is unachievable.
So you mean to say unconditionality is impossible to achieve?
Unachievable.
Really?
I just gave you the gold. No, this is the platinum and the diamond, and it hasn't registered in your brain yet.
Yeah, I think it.
So what did I say?
It's all puzzle now. You need to.
We're gonna go and unlock it. So, if what you say is true,
Yeah.
duality would not exist.
Yeah, duality as in we live. Can you precisely explain in brief?
Everything about us, we are dual.
Okay.
So when we have unconditionality, we also have conditionality. So you can't have one without the other. You can't have day without the night.
Okay, that's so true.
So even in our cells, we're not singular.
So true.
Cells divide, so we become the entire human being. So even in your physiology, you are dual. Even in nature, we are dual. Even in sexes, we are dual.
Yeah.
Masculine, feminine energies. Even in the way we think, we are dual. Mm-hmm. So to go and preach somebody, say you need to reach unconditionality, and my purpose is unconditionality, you live in a big illusion. that somebody like me will come and break it so you can go back into authenticity. Authenticity means in those circumstances, I'm unconditional. In those circumstances, I'm conditional. That means love.
Oh, lovely. Okay.
So, if somebody comes and threatens you and beats you up and you say, I'm practicing unconditionality, I don't think you're going to be practicing it. Your fighter in you will come out
Yes.
and will fight. So we have to be very, very careful in the way we choose certain ways of thinking without truly understanding the meaning and the damage it can do to our physiology, our psychology, our habits, our behaviors, and everything else. So there's such thing as pursuing growth. There's such thing as pursuing authenticity, pursuing higher levels of awareness into enlightenment, but there's no such thing as one-sided.
Again, duality.
Duality. And most people out there really do some damage to people by even suggesting they should pursue that.
Wow. And if they are saying not to pursue but to experience it fully, that's not
There's no, again, you can't even use words like that. So those people don't know science, don't know psychology, don't know physiology, don't know any of that. They just take on the words and they repeat it without really understanding. And then you repeat it to a group of people who have lower understanding than you, that they cannot listen like I do. And then for them becomes a pursuit.
Oh, wow.
And then later on in life, when they discover the truth, they become resentful to those people. So I teach truth in any form of and shape.
Oh, wow.
So I go deep in there so you go back in your truth.
I love the way you have gained your wisdom and you have mixed everything and you have made it so clear,
yes.
Which that's why now I want to go more into spirituality, right?
Okay.
What do you think? Past lives exist or no?
Okay. Well, I'm going to give you two different perspectives. So one of the perspectives, if we look at the science behind, because most people don't have the two sides, meaning they don't have, I meet spiritual people who don't have in-depth scientific background. And so for me, you are half-blinded. And I meet people who are very scientifically driven, but blinded in spirituality. And in one of my leadership talks in Paris, I put a phrase in front of the big screen that spirituality without science is blindness, and science without spirituality is foolishness.
Wow.
So I hope that gives you my perspective that the both are needed, because if we don't have that, we can go into either fantasy worlds. So if we look at it from a science perspective, we have evidence when it comes to certain laws, like Newton laws and thermodynamics laws, that energy never disappears, transforms. So therefore, if we look at it from that perspective, and I know at some point with AI we'll be able to give the evidence that spiritual people like myself, yourself, and other people who spend their entire life, such as Dalai Lama and a lot of wonderful people out there, that this much bigger existence, that's who we are. So if we take the science behind it, we know we never dissipate. We just transform. That's why I call my work transformational. So consistently, I help my clients transform, consistently. So our energy never dissipates. So if we look subatomically, any predecessor behind us, it's in those particles. There's an awareness. Mm-hmm. So if we look at the spiritual work, I work with some spiritual people, basically, people who are very on the journey to enlightenment. They benefit so much because they know the concept, but they don't know the science. Mm-hmm. So then it becomes grounded in them. So there's less doubt, more certainty.
Okay.
So like I'm doing with you, I'm being playful with you. Yes. So you can reflect with yourself, so you can go to the next level of awareness and, okay, I can be a different Maddy. Mm-hmm. And give yourself that permission to grow in every level, including material level, both spiritual level, but with a more open mind to question, is this really true?
Yes, that's so true.
So I do believe in existence beyond our existence.
Of course.
So for me, that's no doubt, by the way, including past lives, including stuff like that, because even scientifically, we have a lot of evidence for those who want to search that. Because sometimes when I get clients who are doctors, medical thought leaders, they come as non-believers. Let's put it this way. But through the journey I'm working with them, they awaken in themselves that knowledge by me taking them at so many different experiences with so many different questions that puts them in a math position that you cannot find logical answers to the experiences we're creating.
Of course.
So therefore, suddenly their intuition, their other spiritual tools, they start awakening bit by bit. Wow. So, you know, we have a lot of wonderful mediums, like in Hollywood, it's Tyler, who does a lot of mediumship. And for most people, for them, it's like a miracle. But for me, who've done and experienced many of that for 40 years now, it's nothing that I would say it's stuff. It's basically some of us, we dedicate our lives in understanding life, understanding spirit, understanding science, understanding aspects of life that can benefit human development. So I work in the human development field and bringing all of my skills and knowledge through books, through my Udemy courses, through private retreats like this, and people who not necessarily are ready to invest at that level, they create a group. And together they can actually create the finances and create the experience. So, you know, I get a lot of people who approach my PA and say, okay, we can't really invest ourselves, but how about if we get 5 people, 10 people? Can Tony do 5 days for us? Yes, that's what I do around the world. So it's all the way that you move away from excuses into really investing the thing that you say you value.
Lovely. Lovely. What about, you have been always like this curious kid of asking.
Yes. I mean, apparently, I don't know this, but apparently when I was born, my parents were always like into spirituality. So the people that my parents followed, some incredible spiritual teachers. When I was born, my mom was serving food to the workers that work in our farm. And she delivered me in the house. And apparently they brought me on the table, and this spiritual teacher that my parents followed turned around and said, oh, he's going to be a healer, he's going to go around the world, he'll be inspiring millions of people, he's so-and-so. But having had so many difficulties as a child, especially during the war, I literally lost belief in everything. Because you see certain atrocities being committed, and then you question religion, you question God, you question existence itself. Yeah. Because it is in those moments that if you don't create that breakthrough, it can really turn you into an animalistic being.
Oh, yes.
So those are very defining moments that unfortunately some people don't seek the help and the support needed for them to create breakthroughs. So they choose the road to enlightenment and turn that deep pain into something very purposeful, so other people don't have to go through that. Because, you know, the reason we have our parents, we tend to at least come to transform certain aspects of parenting that we necessarily didn't like. So therefore, we can choose to become better in something. For my parents was all of us to be educated. They believed through education you can achieve incredible things. And so they invested a lot around education for me, my brother, and my sisters. So only me, I took that at a global level.
Wow.
But then I see my nieces and nephews, they've gone at pursuing the level I'm on.
Wow.
Not all of them, half of the family. That goes back to the duality, you know, because when people say to me, my life is amazing, I ask them for questions and they crack. No such thing as my life is amazing. There's such thing as life. With all the wonderful things and the things that really challenge us the most. Mm-hmm. So this is where so many people over 15 years, I help them totally overcome those things. But that doesn't mean they overcome it. Because as we go on this journey, new challenge will come up. You just become better. And also we shorten the time and the time we spend in our head. And we focus in the energy to create the breakthroughs so they don't interfere with the growth you are seeking.
Lovely, lovely. And I think it's so beautiful with you, conversation with you. I think it's really mind-boggling, mind-opening. And it's like, okay, wait a minute, look at this perspective, look at it, how
Yes.
you are looking at it, and talk the way you are, at least suggesting to, which is very interesting. And so, I wanted to ask you this question where happiness, the true happiness, where does it lie?
Well, first of all, foremost, again, you're speaking to me in a very polarized. So happiness is one side of the equation. Sadness is the other side.
Mm-hmm.
So if we focus on happiness, we'll create a lot of sadness at the same time.
I don't feel so.
Well, life will show you.
Okay, I'll tell you how I live life.
Okay.
In life, I've been growing up,
Mm-hmm.
and there have been very great things happen to me,
Yep.
and very not so great things happen to
Here
me.
we go.
Yes.
Happiness and not so great.
Exactly.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
These things, but
Yeah.
I have always focused on these
Yeah.
so that I can live life in this
Yes,
way.
but
I
you're
like.
not denying it.
Yeah, I'm not denying.
Okay.
I've seen it.
So
I've
what
seen
I'm-
it,
what
but I
I'm-
don't want
yes,
to focus on it.
But again, depends whether you're focusing in pursuing of something, or whether you acknowledge it, going back into there, that I have happiness and I have sadness. So therefore, those states will always be there, but I choose consciously focus on this. That's a different way of thinking, by the way.
Yes, yes.
So when you do that, then you're not ignoring this part, which means if something happens, you must deal with it.
Of course.
You must deal with it. Otherwise, this will come out of balance.
Yes, exactly.
So for me, it's the pursuit that I personally have, and many of my clients go into it. It's more of the fulfillment, not the happiness.
Fulfillment.
Yes.
And
Because the happiness will remain for you into that polarized state. Fulfillment is integrative state.
that
There's
looks
a big
as,
difference.
And that looks
As fulfilling as many voids you experience on your journey to enlightenment and growth, but not seeking pleasure or pain, which is amygdala-driven behavior.
And what's that state looking like? This
Fulfillment?
mind? Yeah.
Well, you are very content with the work you do, so you're not really observing reality through happiness lens or sadness lens.
You're just observing and living fully.
Well, you need to go through the journey of fulfilling those voids. So if you have a void that makes you seek happiness, you need to think, what is it that, which void makes me seek happiness? Okay? Because some people, if you have avoid something, you seek happy experiences, avoiding the real issue.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, I see this quite a lot in people who are single.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Because they don't have that fulfillment in intimacy, in relationship. They create a lot of happiness outwardly. And they project their happiness to other people as a happy person. So I had a celebrity client who committed suicide. He was the happiest person to many people, but not when he's with me on the chair. So it's the projection mask, and there's difference when that person goes within. And when they go within, it's those lonely moments. I meet people and say, oh, I'm happy being single. I ask them a few questions, they come to realize that that's only a transitional state. But in reality, fulfillment doesn't come being single. It comes when you fulfill the void of intimacy, the void of sex, the void of, for me, talking about spirituality, is, sexual energy is a very creative force that most people deny themselves. Whether it's through shame, guilt, religion, it does not matter. But every aspect of our being requires your attention, requires awareness. Mm-hmm. Am I really fulfilling those parts of me, or am I just ignoring and creating more and more voids? Oh, yes. And then my behavior is happy, outwardly outgoing, or some people could be the other way around, could be introverts, and could be in silence, withdrawing so they don't show themselves to other people. So those are all very different states that we show to the world, different masks. The unfavorable code. That's what I'm talking about, the masks we show to the world. I meet people who supposedly to be the best teachers out there. But you bring them outside the stage, they're insecure, they're not authentic, they don't follow up. So everything they just said on stage, they don't apply it in real life.
Oh, wow.
So, I've seen those wherever I go globally, and, I serve people at that level so they can really be the authentic individual they are on stage, at home, in relationship with people, on podcasts, wherever you are. So you will see this guy no matter where I am.
That's so powerful. I think if someone can do this in this life, I think that's the best achievement ever.
Well, I'm yet to discover, as I keep growing, as I keep helping many people, and you'll meet one of my clients in here. So for me, it's like, again, when it comes to achievements, when I graduated from university college, working for 9 years, I didn't have my parents to pay for my education. They were going through war. I had a lot of loss through the war. I had a lot of friends and family who lost their lives. I'm a refugee in a country that I know nothing about. I don't know the language. I had to come the barriers, so many barriers and challenges, and I believe many people nowadays are traveling the world, so they know the difficulties in integrating into a new culture. But with that also comes the judgment. Whether it's your skin color, whether it's your background, whether it's your language, whether the way you speak, all of those things can crush your entire identity. So I had to overcome many of those and invest everything I had in everything I wanted to create.
Wow.
So you can adapt into a new culture. I worked 4 jobs. 10 years, I never had a day off.
No way.
Never been on holiday. So my life was around sending money to my family, paying for my education. That was it. That's my entire identity of all. So my purpose back then was that. That's not what I'm doing today. But that purpose helped me who I am today, because now I share stories. So millions of people out there who somehow they have lost that belief that they can achieve anything they put their mind on, no matter where you are.
So true.
So I started with a great family that I didn't have to think about who pays for my education, to losing everything, to then moving to a new country where my life was saved, where I knew nobody. I had no friends, I had no family, I couldn't speak. I slept homeless underneath the bridges of River Thames. You go into a place where you see a whole different reality, and you are invisible. And you have to face the invisible man in you. So, for me, having gone through those things, especially the first 6 months in London, I shed so many tears until there was no tear left in me. And then I had to rebuild my entire identity, education, knowledge, and adapt, culture, and then work so many jobs to pay for my university. And when I achieved that milestone, that was the greatest achievement. Because I can't measure myself from today, because in every moment in life, you'll have those great achievements. Something that you think it's impossible, but suddenly becomes possible. But then that raises your awareness that you can go and say, okay, I can go to the next level. Mm-hmm. So, when I started growing professionally, every job that I took was a level up from the premier job. Mm-hmm. More responsibilities, more people, more systems. So my life has been consistent growth. And certain aspects of it, you had to really shred off a lot of the things that no longer serve you. So you then focus. But I've been an individual who I didn't find excuses if I wanted to work with Tony Robbins or other mentors, Jack Canfield, and all the wonderful teachers. I would work 10 jobs and make it happen.
Wow.
So I never said to myself, I don't have money. I just went and worked.
Wow.
So, I hear this a lot with people say, I don't have the money. Well, if you value something, you'll find the way, you'll make the work, and you'll create the money, you'll get it. So when people really are stuck in that mentality, I give them a simple question. What do I need to do to make the money and make this affordable. That's it. If you apply simply that, I guarantee you success.
Yeah.
Just that change. Instead of saying to yourself, I don't have the money, say, what can I do to make the money and make this affordable for me? For me. Because when you work with people, you're not really paying them. You're investing in you. So there's a shift in psychology. And I already had that for many years. So for me, it doesn't even resonate in my head anymore. So I always say, when we value something, we will find the way.
The work behind it, no one wants to do, including me.
That's the problem with the younger generation. They want an instant message success. And that's the biggest illusion. And, life will teach them the lessons. You'll get disappointed. So I've seen people who go into wealth very quickly and they lose it all. I've seen people who, played around bitcoins and stuff like that. They sold their homes, they left with nothing. I've seen people who go on, retreats that take drugs and then, they lose everything. So I've seen many things. So, for me, it's, when I get people, asking me about those things, I believe everybody has the freedom to do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But if you want the way for you to experience truly life, you came into this world to be in this body. You didn't come in here to live it. You came into this world to truly understand who you are as a biological being. So if I ask them anything about physiology, they have no awareness. And if you have value on your health, you will never put anything into your mouth that damages your health.
Wow. So everything very consciously. Very inspiring.
So it's about really choosing a level of awareness and then investing to keep growing that, to be curious with life, to be curious with yourself, to be curious with others, to be able to add value from time to time, and not to play the games other people play, but remain in your truth, remain in your wisdom, keep growing that wisdom and keep serving more people, and then you get to 100,000, you get to 500,000, you get to 1 million, to 10 million, 100 million. But the question is, have you really invested in yourself at the level you want to receive? And most people don't. So every client for 15 years working with me privately, their worth has increased exponentially.
Wow, wow. Very inspiring, very interesting. If there would be a message that you could give to your younger self, let's say your 21 or younger self, what would that message be?
Keep growing through every adversity and keep growing. The thing that I've done. So I really don't have any different message to my younger self. Reason being, when you become present with who you are today, you are grateful for the younger self who brought you today.
Oh, that's a very nice one. That's a very nice one, for sure.
So, I'm grateful for all the versions of myself that left for me to be today.
Oh, lovely.
So there's nothing different I would do. Why? Because, with that, you're playing with something you don't know.
So true. I feel you. Yes. And these amazing books, like you have written them, how long did you take them to write each book, and what's your psychology behind writing a book? How can it help millions? Some people think that, oh yes, I want to put everything once down in a book, but they are not able to. It takes, like for me, I wrote a book that is 15 minutes read only. Yeah. So how can I...
the thing is, Maddy, there's a difference if you want to pursue true authorship. There's a difference if you just want to get something out. So people don't take people seriously unless you've gone through proper authorship. Because especially in today's world of information, it's not information that will distinguish you.
There's a lot of information.
Yes, there's a lot of information. You can go on AI and create a quick booklet.
What will...
That's not going to distinguish you. It's the steps that I share in Climb Greater Heights, which are a unique 12 steps to follow, to start really building your authority, your credibility, your relationships, your philosophy of business, your evolving purpose, clarity of the vision, about building all the different skills that helps you then, with all of that, put something together in a way that becomes useful to many people.
Amazing.
Because if I were to do like ChatGPT or any AI and ask questions that somebody says about them, what distinguishes you? And today it's going to become harder and harder if people just write things as it is. So when I started my journey, my late mother was the first one who knew how to write books. at a time when I was focused at my technology career. And back then, I remember I had the Sony Ericsson camera phone, the first generation that they came. And I became again, I've always loved curiosity, so I wanted to really understand my parents, their life, their relationship, how they met and everything else. And I remember when I used to touch on my mother's weak point, that she had a lot of charge towards my dad for the history they had. I was the only one being able to ask those questions and get away with it.
Lucky you.
But my dad was more democratic, my mom was more conservative. So it was really the great balance to have. And I remember she turned around to my dad in one of the heated moments about certain things that happened in their marriage. And she went like, one day my son will write books and will help millions of women and men to become great husbands. But I brushed it off.
Yeah.
From that moment, it took 10 years, a decade, exactly a decade, when I hired one of the best book coaches, because despite of everything I knew, everything in life has somebody who knows better than you.
So true.
So I wanted to absorb all of that knowledge and really write something that becomes the foundation of my growth. Because the different methodologies I learned from different people, amazing teachers, as an engineer, in my head is how can I improve? How can I get the best next level? And how I can create something which is timeless.
Oh yes.
So that's my writing is all about timeless wisdom. Mm-hmm. And also my publishing company is called Timeless Wisdom Press.
Wow.
So everything got linked with time, by the way. But I hired the best coach. And I worked very intensively to put my ideas together. And then I brought my engineering mind, and then I created my own processes that I now help a lot of people write books, including the client that you're going to be interviewing, Dr. Garbelli. So now all of my clients who I help them write books, they will become very successful because I already have the proven method.
Oh, lovely.
And now I teach it to all my clients, especially people who want to grow their authority, their credibility, impact, vision, business, wealth, whatever it might be, so they really stand out above the noise.
Lovely. Wow, super interesting. So what's the message for 2026 that you want to give the audience with?
First and foremost, it's AI is here.
Yes.
Humanoids will be out very quickly now. Now, everything about reality that we know so far will be shifting at a very accelerated rate. So if you haven't done yet, I would literally encourage you to take pen and paper and ask the simple question, what is my service in an age that AI can do everything faster than you can? What makes me different? What is my value now in a society where information will be given to you much faster than AI? So start planning now so the transition, you can ride the wave and create something on that journey that then helps you grow in a very, very different way of living, of leading, and loving.
Oh, wow. Lovely. Thank you so much. I think
You're
it's
welcome.
been really, really great knowing about all of your books. Climb Greater Height, this is the newest one.
That's the latest edition that already won about 17 global awards.
Wow.
And all of them, by the way. It's like all the 5 books now almost reaching 200 global awards.
Oh, wow. It's, I think it's so fascinating and so inspiring and so even motivational, and that made me disciplined now, I think. So thank you so much for your conversation, for your time, for your energy. I really appreciate it. And to the people who are watching, there will not just be nutshells that you can pick this from, but it will be whole like big bombs that you can learn from. So I encourage you to be open-minded and open-hearted so that you can view this conversation, listen this conversation very nicely, and
keep listening.
And keeps listening.
Because some of the concepts shared in here, I mean...
it's timeless.
It's timeless, but also, sometimes we're not ready to hear the truth.
Oh yes, the ones who are already...
Yes, so basically, I encourage all of you to pause, take one concept that I've shared and we've shared in the conversation, and make a reflection with your reality. And where am I with that? Just start, being curious about yourself. And then I always say, let curiosity lead you into the next breakthrough.
Wow. Last question. This is a very interesting one. So some people use curiosity, and I've seen some people use faith.
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 Faith. Okay.
Yeah, and it's just like faith drives them, and then they're good with that, and they're okay with that. So how does that sound to you?
Well, as I said before, every individual is uniquely driven by their own values and voice. It doesn't make one better or the other. It makes, your reality in your life may be better. But for me, it's like if you mix curiosity and faith, you create a miracle.
Wow.
So, and one of the last steps in Path to Wisdom is miracle creation. And miracle creation is not like out of thin air, I'll make, a person. No. It's really those moments that you think that it's impossible for you and suddenly you have it. When you go through experiencing some illness or addiction and suddenly your body is back to health. When you go through, I don't have clients, suddenly you have clients. When you go through, I don't have a relationship, and suddenly this wonderful person appears in your life and you fall in love like this. When you're meeting somebody, a total stranger who becomes closer than your family. So those are all miraculous moments. So the path to wisdom is really bringing clarity of your vision, building your evolving purpose, transforming from fixed mindset into a growth mindset, understanding emotional intelligence at a level that most people don't go deep enough to really understand, and to give themselves the permission to keep growing that emotional intelligence and being able to follow the methods. So it's not like, oh, I'm emotionally intelligent, and then your life shows you many different problems. That's not emotional intelligence. That's having awareness of emotional intelligence. You're not coming to the last step, which is acknowledgement, which is only the first 5 steps. Then you have another 20, by the way, which, I can spend a whole year talking about each step, by the way. So it's really taking yourself with curiosity to consistently give yourself permission to keep checking the external reality and internal reality, and is there a match?
Is there a match?
And if it's not, sit down and start planning, start strategizing. When ready, invest with people who can help you accelerate that process.
Lovely. Thank you so much for the miracle. Tony J. Selimi, right here on Namaste podcast. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Yes. I appreciate it.